Right now, somewhere over Tel Aviv, a missile is falling. Not one missile, 24. That's how many individual bombs, each carrying up to 11 pounds of explosives, are packed inside a single Iranian ballistic missile. An Iron Dome, the system that has intercepted thousands of rockets over the past decade, the system that Israel has spent billions of dollars building, and America has spent billions more funding, cannot stop them. Not reliably, not anymore. This isn't speculation, this is what's happening tonight. Iran has changed its missiles. Not the missiles themselves, the warheads. Instead of a single explosive charge designed to detonate on impact, Iran is now fitting its ballistic missiles with what weapons experts call a cargo warhead, a container. And inside that container are cluster munitions, dozens of small bombs called submunitions or bomblets. Here's why that matters. Iron Dome is extraordinarily good at one thing: intercepting a single projectile moving on a predictable trajectory. A rocket, a missile, one target, one interceptor, one explosion. But a cluster munition doesn't work like that. The missile rises. Iron Dome tracks it. In some cases, Iron Dome fires and hits it. But here's the problem. By the time Iron Dome intercepts the missile, the bomblets may have already been released. At high altitude, spreading across miles of sky. 24 separate objects, each the size of a grenade, each falling independently, each too small and too fast for Iron Dome to reliably track. Israel's own military confirmed this week that approximately half of all Iranian ballistic missiles fired during this war have been equipped with cluster munitions. Half. To understand why this is so difficult, you need to understand what Iron Dome was designed to do, and what it wasn't. Iron Dome was built for short-range threats. Rockets fired from Gaza, mortar shells, low-altitude projectiles with flight times measured in seconds. It is exceptionally good at this. Its intercept rate against those threats is genuinely remarkable. But cluster munitions from ballistic missiles are a different problem entirely. Tal Inbar, a missile expert who consults for Israeli defense companies, explained it this way. The bomblets can theoretically be intercepted by Iron Dome, but the intercept window is extremely narrow. The bomblets are small, much smaller than the missiles Iron Dome was designed to track. They fall fast, and they spread across an enormous area. A CNN analysis of 2 Iranian cluster munition attacks this week confirmed impacts spread across areas of 7 and 8 miles respectively, falling at random on homes, businesses, roads, and parks. 7 miles of falling bombs from a single missile. Iron Dome has a limited number of interceptors. Each interceptor costs tens of thousands of dollars, and Iran, with one missile, can force Israel to attempt dozens of intercepts, or accept that some bomblets will get through. The math favors Iran. This is not an accident, this is a strategy. Iran's ballistic missile stockpile has been degraded by weeks of American and Israeli airstrikes. They cannot fire the massive barrages they launched in earlier conflicts, hundreds of missiles at once, designed to overwhelm air defenses through sheer volume. So Iran adapted. If you can't overwhelm the defense with quantity, you change the nature of what you're firing. One missile that releases 24 bomblets forces a response that one missile never could. It disperses the threat. It widens the target area. It forces the defender to solve a geometry problem that their system wasn't designed to solve. Munitions expert N.R. Jensen-Jones, director of Armament Research Services, put it plainly. The Iranian design appears specifically engineered for high-altitude dispersal, maximizing the area covered while minimizing the chance of a successful ground-based interception. But there's another dimension to this that goes beyond the military calculation. On March 9th, one bomblet landed on a construction site on the outskirts of Tel Aviv. 2 men died, construction workers, not in a shelter, not near a military target, working. The bomblet was the size of a grenade. It came from the sky with almost no warning. The all-clear siren had not yet sounded. That is what cluster munitions do differently from conventional missiles. They don't just threaten military targets. They make the entire city a target zone. They force every civilian to remain in a shelter not just during the attack, but for minutes afterward, because the bomblets keep falling after the sirens stop. Amnesty International called Iran's use of cluster munitions a flagrant violation of international humanitarian law. Cluster munitions are banned by more than 100 countries, specifically because of their indiscriminate nature. Iran has not signed that treaty. Israel has not signed it either. But the legal question and the military question are separate. The military question is this: Israel built the most sophisticated layered air defense system in the world. Arrow intercepts ballistic missiles at high altitude. David's Sling handles medium-range threats. Iron Dome handles the rest. Iran has found a gap between layers. A cluster munition warhead can be released before Arrow intercepts the missile. The bomblets then fall into the range of Iron Dome, but in numbers, speeds, and dispersal patterns that challenge what Iron Dome was designed to handle. Israel's Homefront Command has started specifically warning civilians about this. Stay in shelters after the sirens stop. Do not approach unexploded bomblets. The military described the effect as similar to a grenade, limited local damage, but lethal to anyone nearby. When a military starts issuing those warnings, it is acknowledging that the interception is not complete. Here is what Iran is actually trying to do: not win a missile exchange, not destroy Iron Dome, not achieve a single catastrophic strike, exhaust it. Every interceptor Israel fires costs money. Every interceptor is finite. Every night that millions of Israelis spend in bomb shelters is economic damage, psychological damage, political pressure. Every bomblet that gets through, even if it lands in an empty park, proves that the shield is not perfect. Jensen Jones described the strategy directly. The ongoing use of these munitions is likely intended to have a suppressive and psychological effect. Iran is trying to wear down Israeli resolve, to impose economic and social costs, to force people to continuously shelter from attacks that never fully stop. This is not the war Iran wanted. Iran wanted deterrence, the threat of missiles keeping Israel from striking Iranian territory. That deterrence failed. So now Iran is fighting the war it has, with the weapons it has left. And the weapon it has chosen, cluster munitions fitted to ballistic missiles, cost Iran relatively little to deploy and cost Israel something that cannot be easily replaced: interceptors, certainty, and the sense that the shield holds. Somewhere over Tel Aviv tonight, an Iranian missile is going to release its bomblets at altitude. Iron Dome is going to attempt intercepts. Some will succeed. The question that nobody can answer with confidence, not Israel's military, not American defense analysts, not the weapons experts who designed these systems, is how many won't. That uncertainty is the weapon. That's what changed. If you want to understand what's actually happening in this conflict, not the headlines, not the press conferences, but the real strategic picture, subscribe, because there's a lot more signal left in this story.